Hello, this is Gio, creator of Mecha with a beta exclusive video for the Discord group and blog site only. Please note, if you're new coming from the website, I'm not going to go over the game rules for you, but I can personally go over the game if you decide to join the Discord group. This video explains the NT-64 Multispreader deck, playstyle, and full potential, so you can either build upon it or counter it yourself. So here's the deck list I have for you. First, we have NT-64 Fixturing as the main starting weapon card. Self-explanatory, why wouldn't you use him? I'll explain why. Now we have Multispreader Cannon as the main weapon card, your starting weapon card. Then we have Multispreader Formation as your starting attack card. Doesn't do any damage, but is a really good startle. We got 2 advantage roll attack in this deck, in the pre-made deck. Really good consistent Mecha. We got 2 power attacks in this deck to lower a higher value attack card. Only have 1 Vantage VLAN attack, because I feel like only one you need, and 1 the regular VLAN attack. Next we got 2 Swift Momentum. It's an NT card, and it's one most powerful assault card, so you probably want to win this. Now we had 2 Damage Reflection. It's a secret card, the only one NT one. Now we have 2 upgraded versions. You know, to stop powerful upgrade cards from getting to your hand. We got 1 attack modifier, because you're only gonna need 1. Anyways, 1 decode. We got 2 consistent routes. More consistent Makers in this deck. Alright, he's a controversial one. 2 impact reactors, even though you only want 1. I choose 2 because you wanted to see this card as fast as possible. We got 2 Multispreader Goes. Consistent Mecha. Why not? We got 1 NT with weapon recovery. Just 1. You're not gonna, most of the time you're gonna protect your weapon, so you probably, it's not gonna die that much. We got 1 power draw. If you need extra draws, there you go. We got 1 weapon recovery. A way to return the Multispreader Cannon. We got 2 Allison footwears. Temporary weapon cards, you know, max them out. They do damage instantly. We got 1 basic shield. I feel like I should do 2, but whatever. We got 2 core visors. Pretty powerful attack weapon card. I explained a bit. And finally, we got 2 Hydra shields. Really good protective weapon. Protect your Multispreader Cannon. Alright, now we're gonna get to this deck's purpose, okay? So what's this deck purpose, you say? Well, this deck purpose is get out a VLAN attack card with a cost of 7 or more, so you can use this card's force weapon effect every turn. This weapon effect deals 3 impact damage for each weapon card your opponent controls. Most scenarios, your opponent will have 2 or 3 weapons, so this effect will sure to add up. Well, you can use this 5 VLAN attack card and use cards like attack modifier to make it a 7. So you can actually use this force effect right here. Or you could use power attack to decrease the cost of the 7 one to bring it out faster. With power attack, you can only use it in its ready effect to impact 3 damage to your weapon to decrease the cost of the 7 by 1. And if its PP is low enough, you can attack with power attack, so it's the PP cost of 7-1 will be 0. Just be careful how you use power attack, because with this weapon is pretty fragile, and you have to use power attack ready effect. You always have to deal 3 damage. Another thing with these VLAN attack cards, if you happen to bring one out and when this multispreader cannon is destroyed, you can actually draw 2 cards and destroy a weapon card in the field. You don't have to rely on VLAN attack cards. You can manage without them with this deck, because this deck is very consistent and you can end up spamming the board with many low power attack cards. Cards like Multispreader Go. Let me see it when I get out. Yeah, cards like Multispreader Go and the Mecha effect. This Mecha effect right here can also can bring you attack cards from the deck. So there's like a lot of soldiers in this deck, so you can bring these high power attack cards out pretty quickly. Also, cards like Core Visor can bring cards back from the scrapyard, so you have a lot of options for this decks. So this may seem confusing now, but I'll show you what I mean. First, I'll show you what weapons this deck has to offer. So here's every unique weapon of the game. You see there are 2 types of protective weapons instead of the usual 1, and 3 types of protective temporary weapon. Why is this like equal amount of each, you say, instead of like more temporary weapons than usual? Well, this weapon right here is pretty fragile. It only has 18 HP. That's not very a lot according to torso damage. Most attack cards often do a lot of torso damage, so you must be able to protect this weapon at all costs. 18 is not a lot at all, because this deck has like a lot of regular attack cards that relies on this weapon here. So we have our first protective weapon, NT Basic Shield. Based on may not add consistency to the deck, but it's very good on holding its own against your opponent, since it can have a attack card's attack. You say. So if like this had 4 damage and I attack this, it will only do 2 damage. So it could half an attack. So it could hopefully give your baby another turn of living. Also, when it's destroyed, you gain full HP, so that's a big plus too. Next, we had Hydra Shield. This card upon attachment lets you draw 1 card and discard a card. So you basically draw a card, discard advantage, draw another card. Fucking advantage is douchey. If you destroy this Hydra Shield by yourself with your Mecha card effect or something, you can add a NT attack or upgrade card from your deck to your hand. So that's another plus with this Hydra Shield. Plus, Hydra Shield has 10 HP, so that's a lot of damage on it's a lot of damage on the arms. So Hydra Shield protects your weapon, so that's the only thing that matters. Protect your weapons and protect your weapons well. Now let's get into the temporary weapons. Temporary weapons are not only useful for the weapon effects, but it could also give you a free attack. First, we have Elephant Footwear. When it's destroyed by anti-card effect or take damage by your own card effect, or tournament its tournament expired, you can terminate a card from the deck and deal impact damage to half its leg damage output. So you could basically terminate this card, deal about 2 damage to a weapon on the field. Or if you decide to go for the higher one, you can actually do like 3 or 4. I think this is 7, right? I think it's 3. Yeah, you can deal 3 impact damage. So there's that. That's how Awesome Footwear. Plus, Awesome Footwear has like one of the best stats for a temporary weapon. Has 6 torso damage and 3 legs and arms. Oh yeah, it has 4 damage to legs and arms. So that's really good stat wise. Next we have is Core Visor. Alright. Core Visor is the only reason to consider running NT-64 instead of NT-0, since this card is only meant for NT-64 at the moment. Core Visor can discard a regular attack card to add back a regular attack card from your scrapyard. So basically, it can't be the same one, but if you had, sorry, I need to do an example real quick. It can't be the same one, but if you discard advantage or attack, you can add back power attack and draw a card from advantage or attack. See, everything relies on advantage or attack. And when this card is destroyed by anti-card effect, tournament or whatever, you can set a attack card from your hand, which cost is equal or less than your current starting PP. So your starting PP was 5. You can actually set this card from destroyed. So another quick way to set VLAN attack cards. VLAN attack cards are really good. Now I'll get into more detail on the attack cards themselves now. Okay, now we get more detail to the attack cards. There's one card missing from this lineup that I don't run in this deck, which is the 9 VLAN attack card. I'll show you what I mean. Which is this card right here. You can run it, but I don't. It ignores protection, has concurrent. When it's in ready position, you can send an attack card your opponent controls to the scrapyard and randomly discard a card. So you lose nothing and you get rid of 2 of your opponent's cards. So to me, this card is overkill, so I choose not to win it. So if you want to win this card, go ahead. Before getting into anything, all these cards except Formation has the attack enhanced on concurrent. What does that mean per se, you might ask? Well, this enhancer allows you to attack multiple parts at once. The damage that would be done to the Mecha's HP is the one that deals the most damage. So basically, if I attack, what's this card? The torso 6 and the 5. For example, I will do 6 weapon damage here and 5 weapon damage here if they have weapons. My opponent has weapons, so it will do 5 and 6 right here. But my opponent will end up taking the 5 because that deals the most damage. Because remember, total damage is always half the Mecha HP, so it doesn't like add up the damage, but it does deal with 2 parts at once, basically. That's what concurrent. So every single of these attack cards right here have concurrent. So keep in mind that. Keep in mind concurrent, because that could save you. Now I have the other explained. Let's get into explain the other cards. First we have Formation. Alright, this card allows you to discard a card to add a multi-spreader cannon from your deck to your hand. This card's very inconsistent sword roll, which basically you use every time. It doesn't do any damage, so it's basically, but it sorts, so take that as you will. Next we have is Power Attack. Power Attack allows you to, when it's ready, decrease a multi-spreader attack card, PP cost by 1. So, you definitely want to decrease a VLAN attack card cost by 1 every turn or so. And you deal, but you have to deal 3 damage to your weapon in doing so. If this card manages to deal damage during an attack, you can make, like, if this card's PP cost is less or equal to your starting PP, you can make it 0 for a turn. So let's say if I had, like, I done it twice. I mean, let's say I have 5 PP right now as my starting PP. And if I done this twice, so this cost is 5. So if I attack and manage to deal damage successfully, I can this card cost will be, since it was 5, it will be 0 now for the turn. So this card's cost will be 0 for the turn. So you can actually base it. But keep in mind that you can't use this card's force effect because it's not a 7. But during your next turn, yeah, it will be a 7. It'll be 7 during the next turn. So there's that. So Power Attack decreases costs, but it ends up hurting your weapon each time you do it. Next we have Advantage Roll Attack. This card is not more of a damage maker than a consistent maker. You'll be often trying to get rid of this card at all costs, because this card, when discarded, allows you to draw a card. When it's terminated you could draw 2 cards. So you definitely gotta keep doing your shenanigans to keep getting rid of this card, so you get your draws. Also, it does have a scrapyard effect. You can terminate 2 cards. Discard 1 card and terminate a card you have, or just terminate 2 cards you have, so you can bring it back from your scrapyard to the hand. So you can bring it back. just keep in mind that each of these effects are once per turn. Now we get into the thick boys. We get to the thick boys now. The heavy hitters, the thick boys, the VLAN attack cards. One thing about the VLAN attack cards is that you can't quickset them. As a restriction, inherent constriction, that you can't quickset them. You have to base them from your hand. So no matter what you do, you will be ending up waiting for a turn to ever even use these cards. But these cards are pretty powerful, so there's a reason why you have to wait. First, we got VLAN attack, the first one. It may not be a 7, so you can't use this effect right here. This false effect right here of this your multi-spreader cannon, but it is a really good card in itself. So what does it do? Okay, so basically you terminate a card. Let's see if they have this. You terminate a card you have to obliterate a random card your opponent has. That's what VLAN attack card does. It gets rid of a attack card your opponent has for a turn, because the card you'll be obliterating from VLAN attack will return during your next turn, or if your opponent fucking kills off this card right here, it will return. So just no matter what, if your opponent kills this card, your multi-spreader cannon, or at your next turn, the attack card will return. So for what your how you use this effect, it you say if you terminate advantage or attack, you draw 2 cards, get rid of a problematic attack card your opponent has, and that's how VLAN attack is used. Next, we have a douche card. Okay, Vantage VLAN attack. Okay, it's gonna say you're a douchebag for using this card. Vantage VLAN attack card. You discard 1 card, and you randomly discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand. That's how Vantage VLAN attack card works. So if you get rid of advantage or attack, see, everything fucking relies on advantage or attack. That's why you use. I have 2 copies in this deck. Anyways, if you get rid of advantage or attack, you draw 1 card. Your opponent would discard 2 cards. So overall, this card is really worth getting out. Okay, that's it for the attack cards. Let's go over the rest of the cards. Oh wait. I forgot about this one. You do want 2 copies of this deck. Does want 2 copies of NT-64 Momentum. It's an assault attack card, and if you're able to deal damage to the Mecha HP, it has to be the Mecha HP. No, nothing else. You reveal an attack card. You have to discard a random attack card your opponent has. So it's another discardal, like Vantage is. But it lasts for a turn. Also, this card fucking damage output is fucking retardedly like fucking good. It has 4 damage output at the arms and legs, 16 torso and in the head. That's really, really good. But this card only lasts 1 turn, so you have to be careful. You have to be very how you use it, because it lasts 1 turn. It's all. It's a discardal, but it lasts 1 turn and it costs 2 PP. Now we get to the rest of the cards. I will briefly go over with them, starting with Decode and Upgraded Version. No! This card terminates a secret card. This card voids a upgrade card. So these are cards pretty standard in the game. Next we have is Power Draw and Weapon Recovery. Power Draw draws 2 cards. Costs you 2 PP and you can't use it again for a turn. And Weapon Recovery covers your baby if you happen to lose it. Last generic upgrade card is this deck is of course Attack Modifier, because change the PP cost of the VLAN attack cards to a 7. Allows you to use the weapon effect. I keep blabbing. Yeah. Next we have Weapon Recovery, a way not only to return temporary or protective weapon cards to the deck, but it means to recover itself if those cannon dies again. It returns weapon cards to the deck and gives you a bit of HP. Next we have is Multispreader Go, another attack searcher for the deck. See, this deck is consistent as fuck. But not only that, not only it searches out attack cards, it can also search out your candidate if it was returned to the deck. So you have hope when it dies, when the cannon dies. Not too much hope, but hope nevertheless. Now we have Consistent Weapon. This card discards NT cards, so you can draw new cards. Another way to get rid of your advantage or attack. So you know, another way to get rid of your advantage or attack, basically. Next we have NT Damage Reflection. So this was a secret card. It's another way to protect your precious cannon. This card reflects an attack to a weapon your opponent controls. It may not do the full damage, but at least your cannon will live for another turn. If so, another protective means to save your precious cannon. That's what this card does. We get to the long one. The long impact reactor. Bum bum bum. So what does this card do? Basically, you decrease the cost of 3 regular attack cards from your scrapyard by 1 for each 2 damage you do to the associated weapon. So basically, if I decrease the cost, if I use Impact Reactor and deal 14 damage to this weapon with this effect, so I would have 4 HP left. these cards, and I reveal this card. These cards will all have 0 PP, and I could base it. So this deck will allow me to do this. Base hit them from the scrapyard. So it's a means of getting high value attack cards really quickly. There's a thing you can't really do this force effect because these it's still a 0 cost. So these are all treated 0 until the end of the turn, your next turn. This card is very good at setting high value attack cards quickly, but in doing so, you left this card really vulnerable to die. It only has 4 HP, man. This card could die in one swing. Yes, this card also protects your weapon from dealing for a turn. This card inherently protects your weapon for a turn. Somehow, I mean, this card's immune to this card can't take damage from card effects when you use Impact Reactor until your next turn. So it does help in that regard, but this card can still fucking take a string from like basic attacks and shit. You know, 4 HP will fucking kill this card really easy. So be careful how you use Impact Reactor. Because this card can make or break your game. Also, this card has no double activation. No, you can't activate this card twice for the entire. Alright. Meaning, if my opponent upgraded voted this card, I can't use this card for the entire game. Even though I have 2 copies in my deck, I can't use this card again if my opponent upgraded voted or does something to interrupt this play. So once you activate it, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. That's all that this deck has to offer. Hopefully, I caught your interest in building or countering this deck, because this deck is very consistent. But one will slip into your Multispreader cannon. We'll spell the end for you. Well, that's the end of the video. Bye.